Right, I chose student diversity for Project 1. This all starts with socioeconomic status. It's basically just a combination of a person's income, occupation, education, and place in society. The two biggest things, however, are income and education that tend toward an SES. And then the higher level that a higher level of education that a person gets, the more prestigious occupation that they're able to achieve, and then that allows them to have a higher income. So they're all really interrelated. And there's three levels of SES. There's upper, middle, and lower. The upper and middle class students tend to have more of an advantage in class than the lower class students. And that's mostly due to an availability of resources and just the values of the parents that they instill in their students. And then so schools are actually oriented to the middle class values, whether we realize it or not. Competition for grades, attention, praise, and individual work are all expectations in the classroom that we don't even realize that we instill in our students. And so because of this, the lower SES students struggle because of those discrepancies and differences. The lower SES students are more interested in working together and working cooperatively than they are competing because they want to help each other out. They don't want to leave one another out to dry by themselves. And so as a result of this, the lower SES students are mismatched to our typical classroom. So in order to overcome this, we've got to add some kind of cooperative learning strategies in there at times, and at times we do have to have the competition and middle class values as well, but we need to intermix those lower class students as well. And we also need to improve their literacy skills because they're not getting a whole lot of literacy support at home. We need to do some interventions, help them early, develop their cognitive skills so that they don't fall further and further behind. Give them small group instruction, family support, one-on-one tutoring. The family support and parental involvement is a big one. If we can establish those positive relationships with parents at home and just kind of establish what we're doing at school at home, then that could really improve the grades and the success of those lower SES students. And then underrepresented students, mostly there's two groups, the race and ethnicity groups, and then the genders. Race and ethnicity, you've got the African Americans, Latinos, and Native Americans who are very underrepresented in classes. And then as far as genders, females are really underrepresented in math and science in particular. And typically those two groups of people become academically inferior just because of cultural values or gender biases that don't align with the middle class values in schools. And so the upper class students typically tend to attend the private schools where everything is top notch, and then the low SES students tend to go to the lowest quality schools altogether. So they don't really get a good mix of different students and variety in their classes. And then also we can it can become a stereotype threat where students fulfill the stereotypes that they have on themselves. African Americans, they can do this very easily, and girls in science can do this easily too. And that's basically because of expectations that teachers give them. They will end up fulfilling that expectation if that's given to them. And so we should never express a belief that a certain student can do a certain skill at a higher level or a lower level than another student. So we should never say that a girl can't do science just because she's a girl, or that we shouldn't expect her to succeed in science. And so a way to avoid this is just to give all students the same opportunity. And we can also bring in successful people of these underrepresented groups. So you could bring in an African American CEO to show the students that there are successful African Americans. Do the same thing with a female doctor or scientist. Bring one of those in and show the girls that it is possible to be successful in science. And then as far as intelligence, the multiple intelligences, those a lot of different diversity there too. An individual has a combination of strengths. We have to allow for those differences in the classroom, or just realize that they're there and let them have a different way of getting to the product. And then finally, we've got to recognize that there are differences in the classroom. We've got to allow those differences to guide our learning, to guide the student learning and our lesson planning. We've got to have the same expectations and opportunities for all students, no matter what their backgrounds are, whether it's low SES, whether it's gender, whatever it might be. We have to give all students the same opportunity. We've got to recognize the diversity that's in our classroom to represent everything in our classrooms. So that's it. Thank you.